Singaporeans could earn rewards just by reading for at least 15 minutes a day. It's part of the National Library Board's new 5-year ReadSG movement, which seeks to make reading a lifelong habit. It aims to get 150,000 people on board in its first year. The campaign launches on 6 September, marking the inaugural National Reading Month. NLB's 2024 National Reading Habit Study found that only 3 in 10 adults read books on a weekly basis. The new reading challenge will let participants earn redeemable points through the existing ReadSG platform. These can then be converted to monetary rewards. Every 15 minutes read will also unlock donations for charities like Kids Read and Minds. NLB is partnering organizations like the Health Promotion Board and the National Arts Council to drive the movement. And here to share more about the initiative is Melissa Tam, who is CEO of the National Library Board. Melissa, good to have you with us.
Hi, Angela. Thank you for having me.
First of all, why the need for this campaign now? And is 15 minutes of reading a day enough?
Right. Well, as you know, NLB has always been a very proud champion of reading, and we have been championing reading for over 30 years now. But what's special about ReadSG this time is that we want to call attention to the benefits of long-form reading, as well as the importance of making it a daily habit. Let me say a little bit more about what long-form reading is. Long-form as opposed to short-form reading, which is really the way most of us receive our information today. And in this digital age, a lot of the information comes through our phones, and it's really, the information is designed for us to skim and to scroll and to consume quickly. And there's really nothing wrong with that because there's just so much information for us to digest. But when we do that, actually we lose the opportunity to exercise some of our mental muscles. What muscles are these? In particular, attention span. So being able to pay attention for at length, that's one. The other would be ability to think critically and engage with the text. And the last would be the ability to imagine. Because when we read a book or something long form, actually we have to fill in the blanks ourselves. So these three benefits from long form reading don't happen when we engage just with short form text. So these are the things that we really want to call attention to. And we think that building a reading habit is the best way to do this.
Well, there are clearly a lot of benefits to long-form reading. Why do you think it's quite challenging to get people on board with this, to the extent that you're also using these incentives, monetary rewards, and also donations to charity to encourage more people to come forward?
Right.
Why is it so challenging at this time?
Well, I think there's always, for many of us, a gap between what we know to be good and what we will actually do. And a lot of things come in the way to distract us. And so sometimes we need nudges. And that's exactly what we're hoping to do with the crowd task mechanism, as well as Read for Good, which is our charity event. We're hoping that these are the nudges that will get people to commit to those 15 minutes every day.
15 minutes at the beginning might not sound like a lot to most people. And especially with long-form reading, it takes hours to get through a book, really. So if the goal is to nurture critical thinking skills, the wider ultimate goal perhaps, then why read books and not short-form content? Many people might ask with the scrolling, what's wrong with that, you know?
Yeah. Well, books, as when I talked about the 3 benefits of long-form reading, are really the best example of long-form reading. And books, if you read fiction as well as non-fiction, give you a breadth and variety of content to wrestle with. And being able to stay with the book, which has chapters, so you have to remember what happened in chapter 1, and then you go to chapter 2 and chapter 3. Building that up over time is what will give you the benefits that we talked about earlier. So those 3 things.
Yeah. How do you see the ReadSG movement encouraging more deeper reading habits? How do you think it can really make that habit concrete for people?
Right. Well, it really starts with building that habit, but we hope that once the habit takes root and people are able to sustain a reading habit, that we will be incentivized to read more broadly and read more widely. And there's also a social element to sustaining the reading habit. If we only read by ourselves and that's all, indeed, sometimes we may not be able to fully reflect. Our reflections are solitary. But when we do it together with the group, if we share with other people what we're doing, if we join a book club, we talk about what we're reading, that social element helps to sustain the reading habit. And I would add that it's particularly important for children. So the social bonding that comes with parents reading to their kids goes really beyond just the act of reading or even the story that you're being told, but it's that shared experience that the parent will have with the child.
Yeah, how important do you think it is for children to start young, to really be exposed to books, even though it's so much easier, and more convenient for parents really to just give them an iPad? Why is it so important?
It is really important because when kids are young, their brains are still developing. So as our brains develop, there is that opportunity to form and strengthen those muscles that I talked about. That not impossible to do when you're older, but it's so important when you are developing as a child. So it's super important that parents do that with their children, and to make it fun and enjoyable. Not one more thing that you must do in order to succeed, but something that you really enjoy doing together as a family.
Melissa, thank you so much for sharing about the joy of reading with us. I've been chatting with Melissa Tam, who is CEO of the National Library Board.